Hello Taurus, how are you? Welcome to your May 2016 readings. I do both a love reading and a general reading for each sign. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it. Give me just a minute to shuffle and we'll get started. That top one, I think. Okay. Okay. Let's see, I'll put that over there. Give me just a moment. I'm getting a real sense of like stubbornness here with this reading, but not to start it off in a totally negative way, but there's just a sense of feeling stuck, a sense of feeling like, you know, you have your ideas, you have your ideals, you have your methods, you have your way of doing things, and it's feeling like maybe it's time for that to change. And I think that might be difficult for you in this upcoming month. But there is a real promise of a connection with someone, if it doesn't, speak to you in terms of your existing partner. There is a possibility of something new coming in. And what's interesting here is I'm actually getting that this King of Swords is you, Taurus. Very smart, very astute, logical, able to think things through, able to remove emotion and think of things objectively, which is a very difficult thing to tap into for most people. And I think you really are like sitting at the top of your game, right? A king, you are the top of the top. Okay, but you might be feeling frustrated by some lack of understanding. I'm not necessarily seeing a quarrel or an argument or anything like that, but with your partner, you might be feeling like they might be a little bit ridiculous, or that they might be freaking out over something that's unnecessary, or there might be a little bit of distrust going on there as well. And there's just something's a little bit off, right? If you are single and you are dating, this could indicate someone new coming in. Okay, I'm kind of seeing this as like the same energy here. You could indicate someone new coming your way, someone who's expressing interest in you. And I think you might be either put on guard a little bit or being, a little bit cautious, okay, and really looking at them, like I said, objectively as you can, and really like analyzing who they are, analyzing their personality. If this is your partner, okay, if this speaks to you in terms of a husband or a wife, really looking at them and seeing things in them or seeing things about them that maybe you never really noticed or admitted to yourself before. That you're starting to see characteristics and personality nuances. I don't want to call them flaws because they're not necessarily flaws. It's just things that I think you haven't noticed before. And this may come out in, like I said, I'm not getting an air of an argument or anything like that, but it may come out because of something, because of some little adventure that you're going on, because, now, maybe an argument, or maybe some disagreement that you have because the Ace of Swords, because of the Four of Pentacles, you know, you might be seeing for the first time a stubbornness in them that you've never seen before, that you've never acknowledged or admitted to yourself before. Now, Taurus, you have a similar characteristic, right? The stubbornness, but what's interesting here is like when you're right, you're right. And I think that in this case, and I don't, you know, I can't vouch for everyone, but I think in this case, you might be right, okay? Now, if you are just dating, and this might speak to you in terms of someone that you're getting to know, I think it's important for you to put faith in your objectivity, to put faith in your ability to see situations for what they really are, to be able to see others, okay, and to not judge, because this is a very just character, right? It's very, despite what I've kind of been saying, it's an open-minded character, and it allows for those nuances in others, right? It allows for flaws, it allows for mistakes, and sees those things as purely human nature. But I do think that for the first time you are seeing things, and if you're dating a lot of people, or if you are socially active, you might really be seeing a pattern in the people that you're dating. You might start seeing, well, this is kind of the same person over and over, and I'm, you know, what's wrong with that picture? Why isn't anything working out? You know, what is it about me? And it's very self-reflective as well. What is it about me? Because here we have the sword pointing to you, your sword pointing to the ace, very reflective, very, you know, circular, right? Reciprocal, you being able to analyze yourself with objectivity. And sort of checking your ego a little bit. Here we have the Nine of Cups. It's a card of fulfillment, a card of happiness, but it is also a card of pride. And taking pride in who you are and what you do and who you're with. And there might be some challenge, right, to that this month. There might be some, here's your partner, here's someone that you're dating, and now you're starting to see things come out. Now things are kind of coming to light, and it's sort of throwing you off, right? It's sort of throwing you off balance. That clarity about them, about you, okay? I think there have been things that maybe you've been turning a blind eye to, or having a blind eye towards. And now there's a new level of understanding, okay? The fogginess is clearing up. The love tunnel, okay, if you are maybe dating someone for a few months, I think that honeymoon phase is sort of fizzling out, and you're starting to see things in a very clear sense. If you've been in a relationship for a long time, new things are going to surface, okay? People are changing. Wands are signs of transformation. They're signs of change, right? Ideals change, goals change, pathways and desires and passions change. And I think your partner, or the person you're interested in, is having a little fit or a little bout of change. And they themselves don't quite know who they are. They themselves don't understand fully where it is they're going. They are a queen, they are a member of the royalty, right? But they are behaving as a page. They're behaving maybe a little childish, maybe a little too childish for your liking. And I think that's going to cause you to take a step back. Okay, not in a terrible way, please. I mean, it's not a terrible thing. But I just think that information or some characteristic is going to come to light, and it is going to maybe confuse you a little bit. And you yourself are going to see things about you as well, and how you react to them, how you are reacting to seeing that person in that way as well. Okay, let me go ahead and draw some more. Taurus. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting actually. We do have a lot of like sword cards, but not the heavy sword cards. And then we even have 3 swords touching one another here. But first, I guess let me start with the star actually, because I think because of a lot of this self-reflection and because of your analysis of this person or these people, you are going to have a little bit of a reboot, right? Like I said, your ego is going to need to be coat-checked for this month. You're going to really need to reassess some things. And things that you might not quite know at this point in time, it might be coming to you. And it might not be this huge, big thing. This can speak on very superficial, unimportant levels, right? Or it could be very substantial. Like you could be seeing things come out in this person, a stubbornness, a lack of change, or a lack of willing to change, even though they are, okay? This person feeling stuck, this person feeling very confused, maybe a little bit lost. They themselves are going through something internally that you aren't necessarily a part of. Even if you might be a part of their life, it's something that they are dealing with very much on their own. And I think your desires are going to be challenged a little bit. Your dreams and your goals with this person or in terms of a relationship are going to be challenged. The one reaction that I'm kind of seeing is you might actually feel like this self-reflection might actually make you feel a little bit like nervous and hasty, right? And it might make you feel, it might put you off and send you okay, I'm gonna contradict myself a little bit because something just came to me. I'm kind of feeling like you are going to want to rescue this person on some level. You are going to want to be there. You have an idea, right? Like I said, your dreams, your goals, your ambitions with this person, with these people, they're going to be challenged. And I think you are going to have a difficult time with that. You too are hanging on to an idea. You too are hanging on to a dream, a goal, something that you want, a family, a life, to build a legacy, to fulfill your duty as a citizen, to fulfill your desires of having a family, whatever that is. You're having difficulty letting go of that ideal. And something inside of you, despite some of the things that might come to light, despite some of the news that you receive, or the information that you receive, and the confusion that it may cause you, on a very reactive level, might have a desire to, like I say, rescue this person or to help this person. Now, if this is your partner, obviously I'm not seeing anything detrimental to the relationship. It just might be a short little phase that you go through together, something that you work through together. If you are just dating, it can be someone that actually might be quite intriguing for you. Just because things about their personality are coming out or coming to light, and the blindfolds are being removed, the haze, the fog is being lifted, doesn't mean you're not going to like what you see. It's just going to be different. And it is going to be, their transformation is going to be something that you see happening almost like, it's appearing before your eyes. And I think you will maintain your desire to be there for them, to be there with them, despite some of the challenges that you're going through and some of the imbalances that you're dealing with in regards to them. You still are there. You still are that amazing, reliable partner and person. You are still loving, you are still friendly, and you have an opportunity to express opinions in a very real way, okay, not sugar-coated. Again, that objective thinking. You'll have that opportunity should they ask. And I think you will have some valuable input for them, that you bring with you a lot of value, and you bring a lot of promise for them as well, for your partner. Sorry if it was a little confusing. I think it is a little bit confusing, and there are dual directions. There's a story this way, there's a story this way, and even the very center of the reading is feeling very torn. So it's a tear even between this person and even within yourself. Focus on them, focus on you. Focus on them and their change and your desire to be there, and focus on you realizing things about yourself. And like I say, putting that ego on check, putting it on hold, in order to really be there for them, and accepting and adjusting to the challenges that are going to occur with your dreams and your goals and your ambitions with this person. Just because it changes doesn't mean it changes for the worse. It's just simply changing. And ultimately, the universe wouldn't challenge those things unless there was something different or better in store for us, okay? So, yes, I think that's it for the love reading. Let me go ahead and shuffle for the general. Okay. recurring theme card, another recurring card. Okay. I love this reading for you. For anybody, I mean, just this is a great reading. I love when readings speak to clarity. They speak to understanding. When this haze, this fogginess, whatever this is, this fantasy, this dream, this, this falsified idea, this very dreamlike state, with endless possibilities, when that starts to clear up, it does set many things in motion, okay? It allows us to put our next foot forward in a very purposeful way. And again, I'm even seeing like a tear, right? Even the swords are pointing in very distinct directions. And the Hermit versus the Wheel of Fortune, two major arcana. And the Wheel of Fortune connected directly with the Moon in reverse. This is the first time I'm doing reversals in my generals, by the way. I forgot to prep the deck properly. Or I didn't think about not turning them all the right side. So anyway, I did it my normal cleansing way, and I just didn't think about it. So you've got reversals this month. And to have the Moon here in reverse, which for me really indicates like very much an unknown, but with the Wheel of Fortune is so positive. This is the card that I always say universal intervention, right? This is the universe setting things up. Okay, the universe, God, the angels, the spirits, whatever, setting things up in a very specific way. We all have control over many, many things in our life. We have control over our day-to-day decisions. We have control over our reactions. We have control to some extent over our emotions. And once we reach the limit of those things in which we have control, that is where the universe steps in. And to have this card tells me that the universe has something in store for you. You don't know what that is. You don't know where you're going. This can speak on so many different levels, not just relationships, but your career. If you're thinking about moving, if you're thinking about, buying a house, if you're thinking about changing jobs or whatever it is, things are being set up now. The proper people are getting in the right places. The timing is aligning. Things are coming together. And this month, I think there's going to be a moment where you might look back on the last few months, the last few years, and really think to yourself, wow, if it wasn't for X, Y, and Z, I would never be here, or this opportunity never would have presented itself. And it may just even be one simple occurrence. If I never went to this event and I never met this person, then I never would have had this opportunity, right? And it's so precarious, it's so fragile. And that's how the universe really works. And with this clarity that you're going to be experiencing, with that comes a sense of, foundations and stability, right? And feeling stable, feeling like you have a lot around you. You have a lot of fortune. You have a lot of things in which to move forward on, or things to lean on in order to move forward, I guess is a better way of saying it. And even here, that objectivity, looking back at the past and analyzing things with a very objective point or state of mind, and saying, okay, and again, removing that emotion from everything and looking at certain situations, looking at conversations that have been had, looking at interactions and thinking, wow, Like, okay, I'm gonna do it this way next time. Okay, so if you are, let's put a job example into it. Let's say you have a job, you're stable, things are great, but somewhere along the line, let's say you went to a party or something and you met someone from maybe a bigger corporation, right? Someone who has more influence in the market. And okay, you talk, you have a conversation, months go by, and now you're realizing the potential of that relationship, that potential of that connection, and somewhere along the line, maybe you either reconnect with them, okay, they come back, that opportunity represents itself, or maybe you make an effort to reach out. I'm seeing it more as something coming to you, but there is always that, proactive nature of reaching out and making those connections happen, making those connections again. And through that, there is the possibility of an offer or a possibility of something at least being set up, of at least something, becoming, or at least getting in the works, I guess is a better way of saying it, in order to make a change that you're seeking in your life, okay? It doesn't have to speak to a job. It can speak to, like I said, anything, a car or getting a new puppy or like really anything. And the reason why I say anything is because I'm not seeing specifics here in these cards. It's more just a state of mind. It's just more of an overall energy. I'm not seeing a lot of pentacles here. I'm not even seeing a lot of wands. It's more just thoughts. So I think there's a lot of openness to the ideas and can be applied in many different areas. The Hermit is interesting. Like I said, it's almost kind of like an opposite, right? Here is a very active card. And while the Hermit is active, it's very slow. And I think the things that are aligning, and this kind of even ties into that star in reverse in that last reading. Your analysis of your future. The analysis, because here we have a star, right? So for me, the Hermit and the star, they very often come out together or for the same person during a reading. And when that happens, it really tells me that goal, that lifelong objective, it's very existential, right? It's very, what is my place in the universe? It's very philosophical. What is my place at this planet, in this galaxy, in this universe, at this very moment in time? It's very high level. And when we think about that purpose of our life, that's really when things start to take shape. That's really when we can make day-to-day decisions with a lot less pressure and a lot less with more, like I said, more purposeful action, right? We have an idea, we have the end goal, we have the dream in mind, we have the reason for doing what we do. So therefore, making those day-to-day decisions becomes a lot easier. That clarity is so important, because if we're not clear, if we're uncertain, if we're lost, that purpose gets lost, that dream gets lost. And this dream is shaping. Things are coming together. The pieces of the puzzle are slowly filling themselves in. The bigger picture is being laid out for you. Or you are laying it out for yourself. There is a sense of self-empowerment with this Hermit card, right? That the acquisition of wisdom, and I'm saying this word over and over, I apologize, but purpose is so important, to even just picking up the phone and making a phone call to make that connection for that person that might have that job at that company. How much pressure can you put on a phone call when your entire life is at stake, right? Just very, very simple to make decisions when you have an idea of what it is you're working for. Okay, and last but not least, certainly not least, the Queen of Cups. Your freedom of heart, okay? the Queen of Cups is such a beautifully creative card. It's so like with emotions that run deep, okay? And I think you're going to be feeling very, very connected with this purpose, with this high level energy that you're going to be having over this month, maybe now, this month, and the month after, you know, the next few months. You're going to feel very, very connected with it. It's going to drive passion from you. You're going to feel happy. You're going to feel safe. You're going to feel like maybe for the first time in a very long time, you have reason to be moving forward. And again, there was a lot of self-reflection in that last reading. I see a lot of self-reflection with the Hermit as well. There's always a reassessment with the Hermit. So let me pull out some more cards. My cat's in the way. Oops. Well, let me just see if I can do it on top of the... Okay, this may not be the best idea here. What we do for our animals. God forbid they get uncomfortable, Duncan. Okay. Okay, yes. Yes. Two of Pentacles, that balance. Balance is a theme for you as well. Balance is definitely a theme. We had the Temperance in reverse as well in this position in that first reading. So there is a sense of control, or there will be a sense of control. Maybe this is something that you've been lacking, or you've been feeling like you've been lacking for quite some time. Is that feeling of control, that feeling like everything is taken care of, everything is good, right? And if you haven't been feeling like this, now you're going to start feeling that desire to really, really make things happen, to really get your life in order, get your ducks in a row, right? Like plain and simple, pardon the language, but like get your shit together. You're going to have that innate desire to do that, and you're going to find creative ways to do that. You're going to be feeling like producing things, creating things, making things, you know, like, for example, like, let's say you just moved into a new apartment, and now I think you're going to be feeling the desire to like make your house a home, right? Completing things, a sense of completion is going to be prominent for you as well. What's interesting is the Death in reverse and then the Eight of Pentacles. So despite the length of this process, okay, despite how long it might take, despite how long it, you know, maybe it's a long time coming, despite any of that, I think you're truly willing and able at this time to like put your head down, go to work, and make it happen, right? It's kind of like that Knight of Swords from that last reading. Very take charge, very like run to the rescue for yourself too. Not just someone else, but for you. Run to the rescue, make things happen. Pick up that phone, make that phone call for that job that you want, fill out that application, get that resume in order, get your books in order, your personal bookkeeping, get your spending under control, get your, you know, your business idea underway, get your butt to the doctor and get that help, that checkup, you know, those types of things. That's the type of attitude that I think you're going to have, or that, I mean, that's a good attitude to have anyway, but sometimes we just don't have that. And I think you're going to be really, really feeling it, and you're going to feel very connected with it, maybe the first time for a very, very long time. And the resurfacing of something in the past, I think, is really important. And it might come through, just maybe on a more superficial level, I'm going to talk about this, it might come through from a social engagement, right? A party, a wedding, a business networking mixer, something where there's a lot of people. You might run into someone from your past, like I said, someone that you may have just briefly met once. Normally this is someone that you have a emotional connection with, so maybe someone from your childhood, someone that you have sweet, fond memories of. Okay, might not be your very, very best friend or anything, but just someone that you think of in a very fine light. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Well, Taurus, I wish you nothing but the best. I think you have a really great month ahead of you, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next month.